Hey guys, I thought I'd finally do my update video, and as you can see, I got a couple new things. The Tomb Raider I talked about in the previous video, and that Back to the Future. That's like a DVD set I found at a flea market for like $2. Thought it was pretty cool because it's the trilogy. But yeah, I thought I'd do the update video, and I'll just get right on to it. I actually have quite a number to cover, so I'll probably do another part for this. But for now, I'll cover these one by one. Alright, I finally got 3D Game Heroes complete. And yeah, this game is awesome actually. It's very similar to Zelda. Actually, like if you play the game and you hear the music, it's kind of like you hear the Zelda elements to it, the main theme song. And it's the same, like, you know, that old like pixelated style, but it's in 3D, which is really cool. And honestly, the graphic is really pretty, and it's overall a very awesome game. Yeah, and it's made by Atlas, limited production run. It's really hard to find this in a while, but I got it off eBay for around, I don't know, $15-16. And yeah, it's an awesome game. I definitely pick it up. Alright, next one is Alice. I covered this shortly earlier, but it's the game made by EA. EA actually did a few like kind of like a bit more like horror genre kind of games aside from this, but this is Alice. And from what I know, IGN gave this around a 7, mainly because some elements of the gameplay is like inconsistent. Like, for example, you can make her shrink or make her get taller, and then when you shrink, you're trying to get under this branch that's like clearly a lot taller than you, like you're not able to. So yeah, like aside from that, I heard it's actually a pretty good game. And from what I know also from that review is there was an earlier version on the PS2, I believe, and this is in a way like a sequel, but I don't know how much the two stories tie in together. But yeah, I'd pick it up. It's 30 at GameStop, but I got mine at a deal for like 12 or 13 bucks on eBay. And yeah, there isn't like an official manual, but it'll include like this little piece of paper, and but the actual manual is on the disc. Yeah. All right. Next one is Apache. This one I actually found at that mom and pop shop I always mention. And I was actually about to walk out of there, but I gave it one more quick look, and I noticed this game and the Top Gun game I talked about. And there's a little bit of a dent on there, but other than that, it was in good condition, and it came complete, as you can see right here. Got this for around $7.50, and I believe it's worth around like I would say around 20 bucks. And this game is interesting. It really does feel like you're controlling one of these like helicopters, these combat helicopters. It's actually what also surprised me, I think it's written in here, is it was kind of licensed by Boeing itself, so maybe they got some input from them. But the controls are actually pretty difficult, so you might get frustrated a bit, but I feel like once you get the hang of it, it should be a pretty fun game. But I tried it out, and I think it's like you go up and down with the right analog, and then you can twist left or right with the left analog. So you kind of got to adjust it to get the helicopter moving really well. So it's not like an arcade style one where controls are relatively simple. It's actually pretty complex. And I guess if you're like a hardcore like airplane fan, then I don't know exactly how good of a simulation it is, but it's on another level compared to I would say your typical like helicopter fighting game. But yeah, this is really interesting. And next one is Armored Core 4 Answer. I found this at GameStop for around $5. I just thought it looked really cool when I saw it, and as you guys may know, I also like mech related games. And yeah, I saw this game, and I played it for like the multiplayer for like 2 or 3 rounds with my girlfriend, and I think like 10 minutes into the campaign, not much, but I also saw the review for this game. Overall, it's pretty cool. Like it feels very fast paced. Like you can like blast in terms of speed across like the sand, and like It's like you shoot and whatnot, but sometimes I feel like the graphics feel very tacky, especially for multiplayer. Like when you're doing a split screen, it's terrible. It's like you get, instead of like an actual split screen, you get like one small box and like there's this black area with nothing, another black area with nothing, and another small box. So it looks pretty terrible. But I'm sure a single player would look a lot cooler. But I heard there's inconsistencies in terms of like the graphics, just because some of the places you get to move around, it's so large that it's hard to add a lot of detail without spending a lot of time. So yeah, but overall I would say it's a pretty fun game. It's only like $5 at GameStop. It's worth I don't know, anywhere from like 10 to 15 on eBay, I think. But yeah, I was happy I found that. And next one, I actually just got this in the mail. It's Bayonetta. I've seen this a lot of times in eBay. I mean, not in eBay, in GameStop for like $15, but I didn't really like that price point. But I got this for $8 with shipping on eBay, so pretty happy I got it. It's in good condition, and it's made by Sega. From what I know of Sega, at least, their last two consoles, long time ago, like they failed pretty badly, and so they kind of gave up on that console market. Like the Sega Genesis, I think, was the good one. Sega Dreamcast, etc., etc. Like it didn't really do too well with the last two, and so they started focusing on games, and they do pretty well with games. And I noticed that Sega games, at least have like collectability, if not like like it's at least sought after kind of thing. Alright, next one, it's not really rare, but it's the original BioShock. But I would say it's hard to kind of find this cover in somewhat good condition. I got this in eBay for like $5 shipped. The case itself was in really good condition, as you can see, and included the manual. And I usually like to write like what I paid for, just so down the line, like it's kind of cool to know, in my opinion. It's like $5.25 I paid, and yeah, it came with the sleeve, and I thought that was awesome. You guys know how much I love sleeves, and this one's really cool because it's actually kind of bumped out, so it gives it some texture and shiny. And yeah, it looks nice. I can tell the guy originally tried to peel this off, but you really can't, so he left it there. Kind of like it. Gives it a little character and shows that, you know, it's the original cover because it's $60 new. Moving on. These, I'm not exactly sure how rare, but this is the complete edition of BioShock Infinite, so it includes all the DLC on disc, I believe. So I thought this might be a little bit rarer than like BioShock Infinite, which isn't at all. But this, I feel like this will definitely be collectible just because it includes BioShock 1 and 2, and it includes all the bonus content. So all the DLC, it's on disc. And the thing about DLC is like once they stop running servers or whatever, the market for this, like you can't, there might be a point in time, and there probably will be a point in time when you can't buy the DLC anymore. And when you have it on disc, it kind of makes that more collectible, more rare, because you can still get the DLC, but you just got to get the physical version. So yeah, that's that. Next one is another superhero game. I mentioned Incredible Hulk in my my pickups video, or my eBay unpackaging video, one of those. And this Captain America, he's actually probably my favorite Marvel superhero. Consistently, like as a kid, every time I played Marvel vs. Capcom, he'd always be my #1 choice, and then I think of other people. Something about him just struck me as a kid. I didn't know much about his background even as a kid, but I just liked the concept of him. And this is the game that it's kind of like a movie game. It's based on Super Soldier. From what I know, it's not that great, but the combat system is kind of like Batman, Arkham Asylum, but it's nothing like that in terms of how visually detailed it is and like how good the voice actors are. But again, it's made by Sega, which makes it collectible. I believe it's worth like $22 on eBay, approximately that much. And in GameStop, it's 25 or 30, one of those. I paid $15 for this. was really happy I got it, and it was in good condition too. Next one, I talked about this in, I guess, my latest video. It's Champion Jockey. This is pretty hard to find, and I got it at a really good price, only $8. It's around 25 bucks, I would say, on eBay. And yeah, I was really happy I found this. I don't know much about it other than that, like, it's a horse racing game, but yeah, definitely if you find a copy, I'd pick it up. This will probably be one of the rare games. Next one, I don't know how rare this is, but it's one of the older games, The Club. It's again made by Sega. I believe it was like $2 or $5. I don't exactly remember. I think it was around like 2 or 3 at GameStop. I picked it up because came complete. Case was in relatively good condition. And yeah, it's another Sega game, so thought I'd pick it up for around $2 to $3. And I believe on eBay, it runs for around 5 or 6. That might include shipping, so around the same, I would say. And next one, The Darkness. I originally found The Darkness 2, but it didn't have the manual, so I didn't pick it up. But I recently found Darkness, the first one, and it has that old label with the PlayStation on top. And it came complete. It was in pretty good condition, so yeah, I picked it up. This one I picked up for around $4 to $5, I believe. But yeah, it's one of the harder to find games. I don't know how rare it's gonna be, but it's made by 2K, who made the 2K games like the sports games or BioShock, and Borderlands 2 is also 2K. And yeah, this is kind of like a survival horror genre. It's kind of like a horror genre game. And usually those kind of tend to hold their value or tend to be collectible. So I thought I'd pick that up. Alright, I'll probably cover around 2 to 3 more. Next one, I forgot about these two in my previous videos. But this is Dishonored with that cover art. It has that texture again, and it's like a skull. This is the Game of the Year edition, and this is one of the actually harder to find versions. I paid $10 for this. And it was sealed brand new, but the cover art or the cover jacket, it's pretty beat up. Yeah, this is actually fairly hard to find. I've seen the greatest hits of this exact cover at GameStop in the red box. And I think I've seen the black label as well, but not too many with the actual sleeve as well. But yeah, I thought I'd get that for like $10. And this is I believe it's how you pronounce it is Deus Ex, Human Revolution Director's Cut. The normal one I don't think is that rare, but the Director's Cut is actually somewhat harder to find in the wild. I don't know how collectible it'll be, but yeah, it's just a little bit harder to find version of this game. And it's made by Square Enix, who makes Kingdom Hearts and games like that. And yeah, what I know about this game is I believe there's a lot of like hacking involved and a lot of like decision making that can change the course of the story. I don't know too much about it, but it got really good ratings, like a solid 9 from IGN, and yeah, it always looked interesting, so I decided to pick it up. And probably the last one I'll share is Doom 3. I got this at Best Buy a while back. But yeah, it includes the poster and includes the original Doom 1 and 2. I believe it's DLC. I don't know if it's like a reusable code. But yeah, it includes Doom 1, 2, 3, which I think would make this collectible. Just because Doom is a huge name, and the fact that it includes the previous ones I think is big. And it also includes the poster, which is kind of cool as well. Alright, one last one actually. This one I found at a GameStop around 3 weeks ago. It's called Earth Defense Force Insect Armageddon. I've seen Earth Defense Force 2050 a few times, but I noticed GameStop is a bit more pricey than online. But I noticed this game for $5 is a bit cheaper than online. And from what I know, it's a 2-player game. It's a shooting game. Very basic, nothing like spectacular about it, but from what I hear from people who've played it, it's a very, very, very fun like couch co-op game where you just sit with your friend and you just shoot up these insects, and supposedly it's really fun. But yeah, that about covers my first update video. I still have a lot to cover. The rest over there and a few down here. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys, and like or subscribe if you want to, and stay tuned for the next video. Thank you.